Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility. That's right, it's Wednesday. It's a new review day here on the channel. New albums, new books, videos, that sort of thing. It's mostly albums, though. And today, we've had a lot of people ask for this particular one, and it's a notable release out on Lava Records, which is a division of UMG recording artist. It's the third full-length studio album from the U.S.'s own Greta Van Fleet Starcatcher is the name of the album. Here's the CD here. Not much to show. It's this kind of weird silver gray thing, right? Just a single little cardboardy. Yeah, not much. You would think for, a major label release, they would have something a little bit different, but it just goes to show you the emphasis is not on physical media these days. So it's like a little mini LPC type of thing. Here we got the booklet, which isn't much of a booklet because it basically just has some photographs of the guys in the band with their swords. That's it. No info, no on who plays what, no lyrics. Nothing. And then you got your disc here. So that's a little disappointing, but whatever. Musically speaking, pretty damn good. Let's talk about the guys in the band. Of course, we got Joshua Kiska, vocals, lead backing vocals. Jacob Kiska, guitars, backing vocals, of course, brothers. Samuel Kiska, bass guitar, keyboards, backing vocals, and Daniel Wagner, drums and backing vocals. So you got the three Kishkas, and the is a good friend or cousin, something like that. Forget. Longtime friend or cousin. All basically the whole family here. Anyway, so like I mentioned, this is the third full-length studio album. They have two other EPs, which at some point during time they combine the two EPs to make like one full length. So to me, I always kind of think of like they have four albums, right? But technically it's three full-length studios and the two EPs. Anything else I can tell you about this album? Production, all that kind of stuff. Produced at RCA Studios in Nashville, Tennessee, and produced by Dave Cobb, right? So by now everybody knows the story of Greta Van Fleet. Young band. I mean, they're still in they're like early 20s. Are they in the mid-20s yet? Not even quite sure exactly how old they are at this point. Not far from it. I don't think anybody in the band is over 25. I don't think. They debuted a number of years ago as basically a teenage band doing this kind of very interesting Led Zeppelin sound, and they haven't strayed too far from it. On their last album, I thought they were trying to do some different things. They were experimenting with a lot of little ethnic elements, and there's little bits of prog, and you got some Middle Eastern touches, and of course blues and hard rock as always. And I would say this album continues on a bit with the experimentation. I honestly really think these guys are maturing, not only their musical skills but their songwriting skills, and I find this a very enjoyable album. It's about 40 some odd minutes long. You've got 10 tracks. Yeah, 10 tracks. Sorry, I heard my wife calling in the background, but she's calling from one of the dogs. 10 tracks on the CD, and it's quite enjoyable. Is it hard rock? Yes, it certainly is. Does it sound like Zeppelin? Yes, it certainly does, because, here's the thing. You can't get past the fact that Joshua sounds a hell of a lot like Robert Plant. You can't get past the fact that Jacob plays very much like Jimmy Page. Other than that, there's lots of other things going on in the music that take it away from the Zeppelin sound. But in the end, it's still kind of this bluesy, hard rock sound with these kind of little folky touches and these little Middle Eastern things going on, and that whole way that Zeppelin combines lots of different elements. So do these guys. But man, the guitar playing is spectacular. The songs are memorable. The songs rock. And I find them really interesting, and they've gone to great lengths, it seems, to make these arrangements kind of intricate and, very fascinating to listen to. There's all sorts of little things coming around every corner, which I kind of like. None of the songs really sound a lot alike. There's not a formulaity. Is that even a word? on the album, so it's like you don't have like a whole bunch of tracks that kind of sound similar. They kind of keep you guessing every step of the way, which I really like. Some of my favorites, I really like the Indigo Streak. I think that's a really cool tune. Again, it's kind of Zeppelin-y, it's kind of Kashmir-y, but I really dig it. I really like Frozen Light, which has some really cool riffing. That's one of the harder rocking songs on the album. Most of the tracks are about 4 or 5 minutes long, thereabouts. Fate of the Faithful, which is the kickoff song, also really good, soaring vocal harmonies, right? Good punchy arrangements. Waiting All Your Life is good. You got some bluesy affair on here. Farewell for Now is really cool. That also is very atmospheric and just kind of, again, there's like a Kashmir style of some of the tracks on this album. And again, they don't sound like Kashmir, but the way that song was originally created, right? All these different kind of motifs going on there, and it's big atmospheric and kind of heavy, but not overly. And yeah, I don't know. It's hard to describe. I'm really liking this. I've had this now for about a week and a half. I've listened to it about a half dozen times, and every time I come away from it, I'm kind of really digging what I'm hearing. And you know what's really interesting? I was thinking about this earlier. You know, a lot of people talk about this band. They're one of the more notable, like, general rock bands going right now that have come out over the last, half decade. And it's like there are people who love them. They're the next big thing in rock, and there are people who put them down because they are the next best thing in rock and because they're getting all the attention and because they rip off Zeppelin and all this kind of thing. And I'm like, so many people have been asking for, when are we going to get a resurgence of rock? When's the next big rock band going to come around? Well, they're one of them. So why not just accept them for what they do? And I get it because people want to hear something completely original. It's so hard to come up with something completely original in rock and roll these days. I mean, we've had 50, 60 years of rock and roll, and, so many bands kind of sound like someone else. It's just the way it is. Granted, these guys may be a little bit more blatant than others, but, I mean, Greta Van Fleet, Rival Sons. I mean, these are just throwback bands to the 70s and the 80s, and they're making good records with memorable songs, good musicianship, great vocals. I don't know. For me, I embrace this stuff because it's like there's no big rock bands anymore, at least young rock bands, who are capturing the attention of the public. And it's like, so why not Greta Van Fleet? The albums are good. Songs are memorable. There's kick-ass guitars. I don't mind his vocals at all. I mean, I grew up on Robert Plant and Geddy Lee, for crying out loud. So it's like, if you can swallow those guys and that high-pitched wailing like they did back then, this is no big deal to me whatsoever. So I don't know, but that's just me. So I really like this. I've liked every one of their releases. I think this might be their most mature yet. Hard to say, but it's really good. I mean, is there like hit single material on here and all that? Not really. I think this is an album you need to kind of take as a whole. Nothing kind of jumps out as like, oh my God, that should be played on the radio. But track after track after track, really interesting, really good 70s style hard rock music. Hell yeah. So I really like this a lot. I don't know what I've rated their previous albums. I don't think I've given anything less than a 4 out of 5 star, because I generally just think they're all really well crafted and well done. Again, if you can't get past the Zeppelin comparisons, I get it. Doesn't bother me in the slightest, just like I don't mind bands who sound like Sabbath or bands who sound like Bad Company or bands who sound like the Stones or whatever. That's the way it's been for the last 20, 30 years, right? Everybody sounds like someone else. But you can sound like someone else and still make memorable songs that you want to listen to time and time again. That's what I get with these guys. So I'm going to give this Starcatcher 4 out of 5 star. It may even rank a little higher for me at some point, or rate a little higher at some point. But again, I've only had it for just under 2 weeks, and I'm still absorbing it and everything. And like I said, I do really enjoy it. So yeah. I would say if you accept Greta Van Fleet for what they are, you like what they've done, you'll really dig this. If you've listened to their past 2 albums and the EPs and it doesn't do it for you, this might not change your mind. I'd say give it a try, because if you like 70s rock music, that's what it sounds like, right? So give it a try. I would say Fate of the Faithful, The Indigo Streak, and Frozen Light Yeah, The Archer and Farewell for Now are also really good. The whole thing is really good, but those are my favorites if you want to go sample some stuff first. If you've already heard it, let us know what you think down in the comments below. If not, go check it out and then come back and say, hey, I really dug this, or hey, it's not my cup of tea, or maybe I'm finally opening up to Greta Van Fleet. Thanks, Pete. Anyway, whatever. Go out and support the artist. That's what it's all about. So hopefully you find your new favorite album one of these Wednesdays, right? If it's this one, great. If it's not, there'll be others. So anyway, thanks for watching. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Click on that notification bell so you get alerted of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also down below, we got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, as well as our merch page where you can get this cool Sea of Tranquility Manta Ray shirt and all sorts of other ones. We got tons of designs and whatnot. That link is down below. And to UMG Recording, come on, guys, you got to give us something a little bit better than this. This is kind of chintzy. No lyrics, no nothing. I almost wanted to take off a half a point for that, but that's not the band's fault. So as far as what the band had produced here, top notch record label. Give us lyrics. Give us a little something more than just this. So anyway, thanks for watching. See you real soon here. I'm Pete Pardo. Take care. Bye-bye.